son of the watchman and the son of the president to go to school together, because the country belongs to all of us. So this is what we want. We need peace and reconciliation to be preached around the country, so that all of us will remain as South Sudanese in our country as created by God. Nobody now will say that I'm the right person to remain in South Sudan and the other one to leave. Who are you to shun somebody away from this country? And God has already made all of us here to be South Sudanese. Whether you like it or not, 64 tribes are created in this country.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News, but first here are the headlines. More than 100 South Sudanese women say they were forcefully deported from Sudan and left at the border without their children under unclear circumstances. The director of the National Payment System at Central Bank has warned commercial banks against refusing to join the newly launched interbank payment and settlement system, saying failure to comply may result to license revocation. And the governor of Central Equatorial State has instructed the State Minister of Finance to ensure civil servants receive their salaries on time and that institutions are given operational funds to deliver public services. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Diko Andrew. Now the news in details. More than 100 South Sudanese women say they were forcibly deported from Sudan and left at the border without their children under unclear circumstances. The women, around 111 in total, say they were dropped off in the town of Joda in Rang County after being taken from different parts of Sudan. Some from their homes, others while walking in the street or shopping. They told the media that Sudanese authorities misled them into believing they were being taken for immigration procedures. Instead, they were later transported to the border and denied the chance to inform their families or collect their belongings. Many of them say they were not allowed to bring their children, while others claim they were arrested without being told the reason. Among those affected are Anyakod Akwal, Lucia Kur, and Rose Adler. They shared their ordeal in the following interview, as they stated.
لما نشرت جا خشة في بيتي ما دق الباب ذات شلت الباب في البيت بس وخشة وينو سيد البيت أنا ياند سيد البيت تعال سيد البيت أجيب في خشم باب هنا أنا مشيت وقفت جنبه مسكوني في يدي قال لي أنا قلت لهم في شنو قال لي هاي تفتيش الجنوبية أنا عندي 3 أطفال ميتين وفضل لي 2 الفيديو دول ذاتهم ما خلوني عشان أشيله واحد 9 سنة واحد 3 سنة لاسي أنا ماشي بيداني وبطوبيل أنا لابسه غير الشنطة عداني له يوين هنا في مقاطرين هنا ده يعني ده قال لي أطلعي أنا لما طلعت ودوني العربية ماشي وين العربية بتاعكم ده قال لي تمشي درمان عشان يدوك بطاقة ما دارين أي زول جنوبية هنا بدون بطاقة طوال قام ركبوني عربية لما العربية مشى حارة العشر في صورات دخلونا في شؤون الأجانب طوال سجلوا أسامينا ودخلونا في حراسة أصبح صباح ركبونا العربات ده ماشيين وين قال لي تو ماشيين جنوب ويامنا قال ما عندكم شغلة بيام يا قام جابونا رقدونا هنا أنا مطوّنا في الباب أقول أنا مسميت وشيء أقول من بلد العلمين يلا قال أركب قلت له أنا أركب وين قال لي تنفي ندوكم مال البطاقات وكل ركبونا في دفار قام ودونا وين في مال ترمبة دكبونا في دفارات ودونا وين ودونا مبدة كبونا في الأراسات يلا ساي قاعدوا ناس سبع قاموا مرقوا الناس بيجوا بيحاسبوا شنو بيحاسبوا أسايم بتاع الناس يلا طلعنا حطونا في الباصات أول زول بكيت قلت له عندي 9 أطفال أبون ميت ومي ميت أسرة كلهم ميتين أنا براي في ذي عيال ديل كلهم قاعدين بكيت قلت له عيال ديل قال لي ما عندنا شغلة بعيال قلنا أنت ما جيت لنا وكلام البطاقات عشان نطلع البطاقات إذا ما عنده بطاقة قال ما يقول في الشمال كلام البطاقات يا جاب لنا
أنا اسمي روزا ألير لقوني في الشارع أنا ماشي السوق شمال بحر طيبة الحمدة أنا مرقت الصباح لقيت الحملة لكن ما سألوني خشيت السوق اشتريت في رجوعي راجع البيت طبعا خليت الأطفال جاء عسكري ظهر لي قال لي أنت جنوبية قلت له نعم أنا جنوبية قال لي طوالي أركبي العربية قلت له ما أركب كيف وأنا عيالي في البيت قال لي أنا أركبي عندنا لما مشيت طلعت البطاقة ذات بتاع الحسر بتاعهم قالوا البطاقة ده ما شغال بنحل الكلام وين لقينا نفوسنا وين في القسم حصرونا في القسم إنه تاني يوم هيحلوا المشكلة تاني يوم أصبح شنو.
Rang County Commissioner Ding Deng Lueth confirmed receiving the women at the border. He said the first group of 55 women all reported being separated from their children, with another 61 arriving shortly after.
ورونا انه في عدد من الجنوبيات جابوهم وخلوا العيال هناك، فقلنا لازم ان نمشي الحدود ونضيف على الواقع هناك ونعرف الحاصل شنو بالضبط. وكم حاله زي ده في ناس بيجيبوهم هنا كان بيحصل حاله واحد حاله حالتين مرتين بيقول لا اخذ طفل عيال فطر. جزء منهم بيجوا هنا لما يرجعوا بيلقوا عيالهم رحالهم من اللي فوقه ودهم تجاه ثاني. وعنينا قلنا عشان الحاجه دي ما تحصل احنا لازم نعمل خطوات اجرائيه، انه الباصات دي هتكون واقفه هنا. سيد المندوب الباصات هتكون واقفه هنا. احنا عندنا مجموعه بتاعت 111 تقريبا 111 في المجموعه الاولى 55 في 55 مره في 5 باصات جات اول 55 مره عيالهم فضلوا هناك، وحتى في المجموعه الجايه في 61 تقريبا مش كده؟ ديل كلهم هتشيلهم بالتعهد ويقطعوا الزلط ده هناك الداري يمشي شوف غادي جوده تاجر لهم باصات ثاني يمشي يرفعوا عيالهم تجيبهم تيجي تنزلهم هنا بعد ذاك تيجي تسوق الباصات بتاعهم.
He said the county is working to organize transport to allow the mothers to return to Sudan temporarily to reunite with their children. Meanwhile, a Sudanese official who escorted the women, Lieutenant Ali Salah Bilal, said the operation was part of a wider campaign targeting foreigners.
أوصل الناس لحد ما أوصلهم بالسلامة لجودة لحد توجيهات المدير بتاعنا مدير لجان تلقوا لي في الباصات وسبتهم معي لحد ما وصلتهم هنا بالليل 7 مساء دخلتهم هنا ومجرد أنا ما جيت في النهاية مديت الكشف بتاعي بأسامي الناس الموجودين معي في الباصات الاثنين هم بأطفالهم واحدين قالوا بأطفالهم هناك خلوهم طبعا هي حملة مشتركة وأنا الأجانب فقاموا قالوا لي يا أخي أنت الليلة وما حترجع إلا لحد الصباح لحد ما يجينا السيد الوالي إنه نشوف إيش لازم نسوي. قلت له أباكم 10 وأنا والله يعني أنا نفسي ملزم بإنه الناس اللي مثلا أطفالهم هناك ما شافون أنا أسوقهم معي بالباصات أنا ملزم بهم إنه هناك أوديهم هناك يسلموا أطفالهم وبعد ذاك يرحلوهم يجوا راجعين ثاني.
He confirmed that some of the women were separated from their children and said he has now been instructed to return them to Sudan to collect the children and bring them back. So far, the Sudanese embassy in Juba has not commented on the incidents. Elsewhere, the director of the National Payment System at the Central Bank has warned commercial banks against refusing to join the new launched interbank payment and settlement system, saying failure to comply may result to license revocation. The Central Bank recently launched the country's first interbank payment and settlement system to ease fund and securities transfer between a bank and strengthen the national payment infrastructure. Speaking to iRadio on Sundown Show on Monday, Akuma David said commercial banks have been given a short time to prepare technically and connect to the system. And he stated the institution failing to comply with the newly implemented system will encounter significant challenges, including the potential or revocation of the license.
There's no way you can bypass this system. Like now we have onboarded few commercial banks, not all, but those we have onboarded are very few, and we will give very short time frame for all these commercial banks to make sure that they prepare themselves technically and join the community of national payment system. There's no way you can dodge or even not comply with this system. Otherwise, it has a lot of complication. It can even result to revocation of the license if you don't comply, because this is a national system.
Sabah Al-Khair explained that the system will give the Bank of South Sudan tools to manage liquidity and implementing of monetary policies more effectively. He also said the new system will boost economic growth by enabling faster business transaction at a lower cost.
There are so many solutions this system is going to address. One, in the context of the bank, it will improve the implementation of the monetary policy by enhancing a tool for liquidity management and monetary policy execution. It has been designed in a way that every transaction that passes through that system, it has an audit trail that can be traced. So it will give the Bank of South Sudan that visibility of exactly what is happening between the banks. How it will also contribute to the public and also to the government is it will also contribute to economic growth by facilitating faster business transactions. Transactions are very slow before the system, costly, time, but with the coming of this system, transaction will be done in real time now at a very minimal cost. And by the way, the system for the interbank will be provided by the bank for free for some time, so that we get an incentive for the commercial bank to roll out for this system and also appreciate how this system is going to help them conduct their businesses in the country.
The Bank of South Sudan officially introduced the interbank payment and settlement system on October 10, 2025. The Governor of Central Equatorial State has instructed the State Minister of Finance to ensure civil servants receive their salaries on time and that institutions are given operational funds to deliver public service. The directive was announced by Patrick Nyarsuk, the State Minister of Information and Communication, following an extraordinary Council of Ministers meeting held on Monday in Juba. According to Nyarsuk, Governor Rabi Mujing Emmanuel said funds should be released on time to help the state government to operate effectively.
The governor emphasized on his commitment to work with all the institutions, all the ministries, to make sure that timely implementation of all the memos are implemented, and looking into how operational costs of line institution and timely pay salaries of the civil servant is to be implemented, starting by directing and listening to report from the Minister of Finance on the strategic plan of the Ministry of Finance to provide operational costs to all the line institutions to make sure that these institutions are effectively functioning to deliver services.
Nyarsuk said the governor also listened to a report from the Minister of Finance outlining a strategic plan to support ministers with the funds they need to function properly and deliver service to the public. You're still listening to iRadio News at 1. The wife of detained South Sudanese political activist Samuel Peter says that the family is still waiting for answers from authorities in the United Arab Emirates regarding his continued detention. Speaking to iRadio on Tuesday morning, Vivian Johnson confirmed that her husband made a second phone call to the family since his arrest on September 30th, 2025. According to the Vivian, Samuel called using a phone number with UAE International Dialing Code and briefly spoke with her and their children. She said the family has not received any official communication from UAE authorities regarding the charges or circumstance of his detention. Samuel Peter is a South Sudanese political commentator based in the UAE. He is known for his writings and political analysis in the development in South Sudan. So far, no formal charges have been brought against him so far. Authorities in Eastern Equatorial State say local communities have expressed optimism about participating in South Sudan permanent constitution-making process. This comes after a team from the National Constitution Review Commission arrived in Torit last week to conduct civic education and public consultation as part of a nationwide engagement campaign. They launched the campaign on October 8th to gather citizen views on the ongoing process of drafting a permanent constitution. The campaign began in Juba is now being extended to Lake State, Northern Bahar Ghazal, Eastern Equatoria, and Western Bahar Ghazal states. According to the Commission, the civic education phase is an important step toward developing an inclusive and people-led constitution that reflect the hopes of all South Sudanese. The Commission is encouraging citizens to participate actively and ownership of the process. Speaking to iRadio from Tarid, Elias Al-Haj, a local government official, said people in Eastern Equatoria are engaging actively with the visiting of the Commission.
Only the members of the National Constitutional Review are very busy consulting different stakeholders. Actually, people express optimism and they are very happy for the arrival of the committee members here. I think they are still conducting their consultation and their views are being collected by the commission team members who are dispatched to Eastern Equatoria. Upon their return, they will come and compile the comprehensive report and share with the commission. But otherwise, the people people are very happy. They have high optimism for the constitution to be drafted, which will reflect their opinion. Actually, they will be very proud to be part of the constitution, and which they will also own.
He said people are sharing their views proudly and want to see their opinion reflected in the final draft of the constitution. The commission said its team will continue to meet grassroots communities, collect views and ensure that voices from across the country are included in drafting process. The public consultations and civic education activities will run for 1 month. After that, the commission will compile the submissions into a draft permanent constitution that includes views of citizens from all regions. And lastly, the Commissioner of Nasir County in Upper Nile State is calling for an urgent humanitarian assessment to determine the scale of the crisis facing the area. Commissioner Jamit Getwet Jog made the appeal on Monday following a meeting with a representative from the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in the area. Speaking to iRadio from Nasir, he said the county is currently experiencing a serious humanitarian situation that requires immediate response. He said earlier food airdrops have been executed and many communities affected by the March conflict are still in urgent need of support. The commissioner also noted that the return of displaced people has worsened the situation, so many of them came back without food or basic supplies.
We talk about the UNOCHA, they talk about the UN in Juba. So they told me that if necessary, you will talk with those of Juba. Because we will talk with them many times that let us go to make this one, to make a reconnaissance or recognize what is going on in the field. And then they will not accept us up to now to go there.
Commissioner appealed for both food and non-food items, including shelters, materials and cooking utensils to support the people.
In Alkemia, there is no food. There is some area in the Payam, there is a bit of food that has been brought by them, but the river side, there is no any food up to now. Second to that, people that are enough, the Chinese, they came back now in the town, they don't have a shelter. They need non-food items. They need rope, they need nets, they need cooking material, and they need shelter, plastic sheet, and blanket, and packing for the water. So all this, I request them since before, up to now, nothing yet come.
He said he has repeatedly appealed to humanitarian agencies to respond, but no supplies have reached many parts of the country so far. You're still listening to iRadio News at 1, now to the international news with my colleague Walbapal.
From regional international stories, a Kenyan police officer stationed at one of the gates of the president's official residence in the capital Nairobi has died after being shot with an arrow, officials have said. Police said that on Monday morning, a 56-year-old man armed with a bow and arrows approached officers at the gate of his state house and was ordered to surrender. Instead, he moved forward and shot PC Ramadan Matanka in the ribs. The policeman was immediately taken to hospital but died while undergoing treatment, according to a police statement. Elsewhere, Madagascar's embattled President Andrea Rajoelina has said he is sheltering in a safe place after an attempt on his life, following weeks of protests calling for him to quit. In a live broadcast to the nation on Facebook, Rajoelina 51 said a group of military personnel and politicians planned to assassinate him. He did not reveal his location, but unconfirmed reports earlier suggested that he had fled the country on a French military aircraft. And finally, a Japanese court has sentenced to death a man who killed 4 people in a shooting and stabbing attack in 2023, rejecting the defense argument that he has schizophrenia. Masaroni Aoki, now 34, stabbed 2 women who were taking a walk in the city of Nakano and then shot 2 policemen who arrived at the scene after receiving an emergency call with a hunting rifle. Gun violence is rare in Japan, where strict firearms laws are in place. Even rarer is the shooting of multiple police officers. The last such incident took place was more than 30 years ago. That's all from the regional international stories with me, Warren Mapal. Back to you, Diko Andrew.
Thank you so much, all. Up next, the sport news with Moses Darlington.
Thank you so much, Diko Andrew. In the world of sport, starting with home news, South Sudan football team wrap up the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign with a goalless draw against Togo in the final round of the African qualifiers. The match, marked by strong tactical discipline and solid defensive organization from both sides, Bright Stars entered the game with a spirited and clearly desire to win, as coach Simon James relied on a compact defensive structure that gave the team good balance. Meanwhile, the South Sudan Premier League will resume with three postponed matches starting today, Tuesday, as follows. Lion Hunters to face Al Ghazala at Juba National Stadium at 3 p.m. this afternoon, while tomorrow, Wednesday, at Labara to challenge Jammus at Juba National Stadium at 1 a.m. noon, while in the afternoon, Al Marik will take on Al Salam at Juba National Stadium at 4 p.m. While tomorrow, Wednesday, at Labara will face and challenge Jammus FC at Juba National Stadium at 1 a.m. in the noontime. In some great sport headlines, Cape Verde have become the second smallest nation to reach the World Cup after the Icelanders beat Eswatini 3-0 at home. Victory meant the Blue Sharks secured top spot in their qualifying group and a place at the 2026 finals. Ahead of continental heavyweights Cameroon, France missed out a chance to reach the 2026 World Cup with 2 qualifying matches to spare, as the two-time world champions were held to a thrilling 2-2 draw in Iceland. Les Bleus, who remained top of Group D, needed to beat Iceland and hope Ukraine drop points against Azerbaijan to book an early place in the North American tournament next summer. And finally, former British Olympic athletics coach Jose Vicente Liva Modal has been charged with child sex offences, the Crown Prosecution Service has announced. Liva Modal, 65-year-old, the husband of former Olympic middle distance runner Diane Modal, will appear in court on Tuesday to face 19 separate charges, including sexual assault of a child, rape and controlling and coercive behavior. All charges relate to the same woman who also was in the case with him between 2012 and 2024, the CPS said. This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Diko Andrew.
Thank you so much, Darlington Moses, and that will be marking our end of news for this afternoon. But let's remind ourselves with the headlines. More than 100 South Sudanese women say they were forcibly deported from Sudan and left at the border without their children under unclear circumstances. The director of the National Payment System at the Central Bank has warned commercial banks against refusing to join the newly launched interbank payment and settlement system, saying failure to comply may result in license revocation. And the governor of Central Equatorial State has instructed the State Minister of Finance to ensure civil servants receive their salaries on time and that the institutions are given operational funds to deliver public services. That's the end of today's news. Is there any story or an event you'd like our radio to cover or report about? Please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page, iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at 1:30. I'm Diko Andrew. Thank you for listening.